And hello, everybody, and welcome in here as we got some more college football coverage for you. Ohio State at Oregon. Ohio State got the ball to start the first half, going right down the field on 75 yards right down the field, took 5 minutes off the clock, ended in a Will Howard 1-yard touchdown run on a controversial call. It should have been a pick there, interception there for Oregon, taken away there. I'll even admit that as a Ohio State fan, and that propelled him. But here comes Dylan Gabriel and this Oregon offense. We'll see if they had enough time to gel based off. This is going to be by far the best defense they have played this year. Ohio State has struggled from time to time, but they seem to settle in once the second quarter starts. Also, big there for Ohio State for them to take 5 minutes off the clock and that long of a drive. 10 plays, 75 yards, 5 minutes off the clock, if I'm remembering correctly. Gabriel hands off, and nothing. Should have been tackled for loss. Picks up 5 yards on the run. Brought down by J.T. Tulimau on the carry. But that is a good sign that Ohio State's getting a good push for the start. Swing it out wide. Got a receiver. He'll be short of the first down. It'll be 3rd and 1 for Oregon. Brought down on the play by David Igbinosun. Dylan Gabriel this year, 77.8% completion percentage, 12 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, 1,449 yards through the air. 3rd and 1 here for Oregon. 3rd and a little longer than 1, about 3rd and 1.5. Empty backfield. Gabriel, plenty of time yet. Still 20 on the play clock. Ohio State wearing their all whites tonight, and it's a sneak, and he got it by about a yard, as Ohio State was not expecting that. And I don't blame him because he didn't climb up to under center till literally the last second. So 1st and 10 for Oregon from their own 36. Gabriel takes the snap, back the pass, looking, fires, incomplete. 2nd and 10, broken up by Caleb Downs. There on the cross route, Downs timing it up, swatting that ball away. Incredible safety, probably be a top, definitely, if he keeps up, he will be a 1st-round pick, I think, most likely. 2nd and 10 for Oregon. Gabriel in the shotgun, wide receiver in motion. Gabriel takes snap, will handle it off up the middle, maybe a yard, and they'll probably give him 2. It'll be about 3rd and about 8 for Oregon. Hancock on the tackle for Ohio State. Keep an eye out for this Ohio State defense line. Oregon going quick. They get the snap off. Fire, and he's not going to get the 1st down. It'll be 4th and about 3, maybe 4. Let's see what Oregon does here, especially on their side of the field. And it looks like Oregon is going to punt the ball away here. And it's back deep. They do get the punt off, and it's not a great one either. It'll roll out of bounds at the Ohio State 15. Actually, that was a pretty darn good punt. So Will Howard and Ohio State start at their own 15, up 7-0, 7:32 in the first when we come back. All right, we are back here. Jeremiah Smith, a 5-star, 6 receiving touchdowns, tied for most among college football freshmen. He has 23 catches, 11 catches of 15 yards or more, 19 first downs. In 12 games, Chris Carter had 41 catches, 648 yards, 8 touchdowns. In 5 games, Jeremiah Smith, 24 catches, 453 yards, 6 touchdowns. Excuse me, Chris Carter had 8. So far, Jeremiah Smith has had a couple catches today for 4 and about 6 or 7 yards, I believe. Nothing crazy yet. Will Howard, 2 men in the backfield with him. Takes snap. They'll hand off to Book on the end around. He has a hole, and he picks up an Ohio State first down on the run of on a run of 13. First down, Ohio State. Handing it off to Book out of the backfield. They're like he's the running back this time. So first down, Ohio State. Out there again of about 12, maybe 13. From their own 27. Howard takes the snap, empty backfield, back to pass, looking, getting pressure, gets away, and just fires it out of bounds and incomplete. It'll be 2nd and 10. Just a free rusher there. Howard gets away and just chucks it in the seat. Smart move there by Howard, saving some yardage, plus just no turnovers. 6:49 left in the first, 7-0 Ohio State. 2nd and 10 for the Buckeyes. Howard under center, Junkins behind him. Tatum motion. Howard hands it off. Junkins. Nothing. Might have lost a half a yard. It'll be 3rd and 10. And Oregon saying they got the football, but I think it was pretty clear Junkins was down. And they're saying it's Oregon football. They're saying it's Oregon football. And yep, it's Oregon football. Massive mistake by Ohio State there. Ohio State had all the momentum, and just like that, the Ducks have all of it. Those are the type of mistakes you cannot make in a game like this. What would a refs rule here? Oregon came out with the football. He came down on top of the Oregon player, but the second thing you have to ask, his forward, they're saying it's first down Oregon, but Junkins' forward progress was clearly stopped. They never blew the whistle, and he came down on top of the defensive lineman, and then the D lineman ripped it out of his hands. Also, was his knee down? That's the second thing we're going to have to look at. Was his one knee down? There's no good shot of it. There's no good shot to show if his knee was down or not, and Junkins is pissed off. You don't want to be facing a pissed off Junkins. Trust me on that one. Now we'll go to a replay review here. And we will go to an ad break and be right back. I'll say this, even as an Ohio State fan, if this does not stand as called, the refs are crazy. It would have been 3rd and 10. Junkins clearly had his forward progress stops. The refs never blew the whistle on forward progress, so that doesn't matter. He was brought down to the ground. Defensive lineman just ripped the ball straight out of his hand. Junkins wasn't ready for it. Junkins wasn't ready for it. And Junkins probably would have been down, but he landed right on top of the defensive lineman, which is kind of unfortunate for him. So if it stands as a fumble, which it will, it'll be 1st and 10 Oregon from the Ohio State 28. That was Junkins' first fumble lost since 2022. So it'll be 1st and 10 Oregon at the Ohio State 28. I guess the one positive you can draw to this, it's not like it's inside at 10, so Ohio State's defense actually has a little bit of a chance to stop him, and it's not an extremely quick flip here as we had a replay review. They'll hand it off and breaks a tackle all the way down inside the 10 and 2-3, 1st and goal Oregon. 25 on the carry, should have had him at the line of scrimmage, and another miscue by Ohio State on a missed tackle. Cody Simon with the missed tackle. Caleb Downs eventually saving the touchdown. So it's about to be tied here. We're probably about 6 minutes left in the first at 7 apiece. Unless something wacky turnover or anything like that. Gabriel hands it off up the middle. Touchdown, Oregon. Ohio State's getting pushed around just like they were with Marshall and Iowa right now. It does not look good for the Buckeyes. They're getting blown off the ball. Ohio State had all the momentum. It was 3rd and 10. Yes, it was 3rd and 10. They had all the momentum. Will Howard being Will Chill, just hanging out on the sideline. Doesn't look like any of the momentum's getting to him, which is a good thing for Ohio State. So now the PAT to try and tie it up at 7 with 5:51 here in the first. They fumbled the snap, just shuts it up in the air, and it's picked off by Lathan Ransom. They're going to try and return it down the sideline for 2 points. Down the sideline, Ohio State's going to return it for almost 2 points. So Ohio State maintains the lead. 6-7 on a fumbled hold. What a break for Ohio State. My, oh my. Right to Lathan Ransom. He was almost gone. I thought he was gone when he was up to 30, but it was eventually caught at the Oregon 35. Special teams miscues can be huge in games like this. There's the touchdown. But the main thing is Ohio State still has the lead. Yes, Oregon has all the momentum right now, but you wonder if that takes a little bit of the momentum away from Oregon, now trailing after that missed extra point. So now Junkins and this Ohio State offense come back out on the field following this kick, finding anything crazy. 6-7 Ohio State, 5:51 in the first, the boots away. And it'll be a touchback. Ohio State will start at their own 25. Okay, both offenses have found the end zone. Put an asterisk beside Oregon, not to be mean to them or anything, but put an asterisk beside Oregon and put there due to a turnover, as Junkins will be on the sideline for the first snap of the next drive. Howard in a shotgun, Henderson on his left hip. Buka in motion. Swings it out. Abuka lost 5 yards. Make that 3. You can't, I can't stress this enough. You cannot play the outside, okay, get Will Howard in a rhythm in this game. This is why Ohio State has struggled in games like this, against Oregon, against Notre Dame, against Michigan, against Penn State, because they take too lackadaisical of approach and take too easy of an approach with wide receiver screens. And now we got a false start in Ohio State. It'll be 2nd and 17. That'll be on Josh Simmons, the left tackle. Ohio State had all the momentum. I want to stress that again. All the momentum. And then just like that, poof, it's gone. Shows you how fast the game can change. 2nd and 17 for Ohio State. Empty backfield for Will Howard. Oregon showing rush 4. Howard, it'll be a QB power. And he'll get back the loss of yardage and penalty yardage to make it about 3rd and 10. He'll get back to about 24, so it'll be 3rd and 11. You have to be aggressive if you're Ohio State. You can't do any of this wide receiver screen shenanigans. Henderson in the backfield of Howard. Howard takes snap, and we got whistles and another false start. It's 3rd and 16. This time on the tight end, G. Scott Jr. Here's the thing, though. I didn't see a false start there. I want to see this replay. I didn't really see a false start. It was his back leg flinching, excuse me, like a half an inch is what got the false start penalty. So now 3rd and 18. June is 3rd and 16. Swing it out on a wide receiver screen. Abuka, 3 yards. I can't stress it enough. You cannot run wide receiver screens. You cannot run wide receiver screens against this Oregon defense. You got 4 yards out of it. I understand it's 3rd and 16, safe play call. But you called a wide receiver screen before that sets you up in this position with a 3-yard loss. This is why you struggled against Notre Dame both seasons. This is why you struggled against Oregon last time you played them. This is why you struggle against Michigan and Penn State in all the big games, because you're too worried about getting your quarterback settled down. You need to trust in your quarterback and let him rip it like you did the first drive. And now delayed game on Ohio State backs them up another 5 as they are an absolute mess. That's 15 yards worth of penalties in 4 plays on Ohio State. And it's the fact of Ryan Day is smiling and acting like it's all good in the sideline when it is not. He needs to get it together as well. So now punting from his own 4. Good snap. Fair caught. Oregon will start their own 41 with great field position. And we'll go to an ad timeout. I just want to say this quick. It's not the stinginess. It's you ain't going to do anything when you're running a wide receiver screen every pass play against this Oregon team. This is why Ohio State always tends to play close games and games like this, because Ryan Day has always been scared to let his quarterback rip it. Rather than CJ, Justin Fields, McCord, now Will Howard. You got to let him throw the ball. You can't run a wide receiver screen every other play. Oregon's defense will fly around. You cannot. What do I mean by you can't run wide receiver screens quick? Let me elaborate on that. So far in this game, they have ran 3 or 4 wide receiver screens. Out of those, they have got 6 total yards. 6. 4 on the last one, 2 on the other one, and then went backwards 2 or 3 in the next one. You cannot run wide receiver screens in big games like this. This is why Ryan Day cannot win the big game. He gets too conservative. There's no time to let your quarterback ramp up and throw 5 or 6 wide receiver screens in the first 3.5, 4 drives. In a game like this, you just can't. We're back anyhow now, but still, you can't. This is the 11th meeting all time between Oregon and Ohio State. Ohio State is 9-1 all time against Oregon. 2:42 left in the first. Ohio State 7, Oregon 6 on a touchdown and a fumbled hold that Ohio State almost returned for 2 points. Dylan Gabriel in the shotgun from his own 41 is Ohio State. They need to figure it out. Back to pass, looking, firing it off, screen, plowing over a guy, but nice tackle. Grabbing him by the legs is Hancock after a 4-yard pickup. It'll be 2nd and 6. Now, I will say the asterisk beside that Oregon touchdown, fumble. 2nd and 7 officially. Oregon, don't hurry up. Gabriel going deep, wide open, and he's absolutely belted, but he held on somehow. Lathan Ransom absolutely leveled Evan Stewart. but he was right open in the middle of the third. Doesn't matter because he held on, but he got leveled by Lathan Ransom. There's like three free defense linemen on that play. Dylan Gabriel just gets rid of it and we got a flag. Illegal shift on Oregon. And it'll be 1st and 15 now for the Ducks. Oh. There's three free defense linemen, JT Sawyer and Keata Jackson. Just all came on that play, or it was Tyleek Williams. It all came after him free. Didn't even get blocked. He just had to get rid of it. First and 15. Up the middle for about 7. It'll be 2nd and 7 or 8. Ohio State is the team getting the push around right now on the defense and offensive line the past couple drives. Not Oregon, which is concerning. 2nd and 8, Dylan Gabriel, empty backfield. Wide receiver in motion, Johnson. Gabriel fires, incomplete, broken up by David Igbinosun. It'll be 3rd and 8 for the Ducks. From the Ohio State 26, Evan Stewart, the intended wide receiver. Igbinosun did give way of a hold there, I'll admit. But if they don't call it the rest of the game, let them play. This big of a game, let them play. 52 seconds left in the first, 3rd and 8 for Oregon. David Igbinosun. It'll be 4th and 8 for Oregon. Gabriel ends up on the ground. What kind of formation was that? 3 offensive linemen. What was this? What was that? He had to get rid of it right away. Oregon's trying to have to try for a field goal here. 3 on offensive linemen protecting Gabriel. Gabriel gets hit right as he released it by Keata Jackson Jr. So Oregon trying to settle for a field goal, try and take a 9-7 lead. 44-yard attempt right on the small O. And he missed it. He missed it wide right. Ohio State keeps the lead. Oregon has given Ohio State opportunity after opportunity with a fumbled PAT hold and now a missed field goal. Ohio State has to capitalize. There's no if, ands, or buts. You have to capitalize right here if you are Ohio State on Oregon's mistakes if you want to win this game. And that goes for Oregon as well, as they capitalize on a Junkins fumble, however, missing the PAT. Henderson on Howard's behind Howard. Howard in shotgun. 1st and 10, their own 26. Best starting field position of the day for the Bucks. Hands off, Henderson at the middle. He's got a lane, he's got a hole. He's to the 40 and brought down at his own 44. 1st down, Ohio State. Massive hole. You could probably fit 2 Hendersons through that. Ohio State's going to try and get one more snap off. Howard, Henderson again. He's got another lane. 50, 45, 40, 35, 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5, and push out of bounds at the Oregon 3-yard line. Josh Simmons absolutely blowing up, opening another gaping hole. I think that might have been the same play as the last play. He was out of bounds at the Oregon 3-yard line, and that'll take us. And that Ohio State's got an offensive lineman down on one knee. That is the right tackle. I don't know how to pronounce his name, number 77. He stands up now. Henderson on the last 2 carries has had 70 yards. And that'll take us to the end of the first quarter. Ohio State up 6-7 on the Oregon 3-yard line, threatening when we come back to start the second. Welcome back here. Start of the second quarter. Ohio State 7, Oregon 6. Difference in the game right now is a missed PAT by Oregon on a fumbled hold and a missed 44-yard field goal by Oregon. And Ohio State is on the doorstep as they're at the Oregon 3 here, trying to punch it in, pending the PAT to make it 14-6. Here, starting the second. Remember, Henderson was on the Ohio State team that lost to Oregon in 2021. So was that whole defense, basically, except for Igbinosun and Caleb Downs and CJ Hicks. And maybe Sonny Styles as well. Otherwise, all that rest of that defense was on that Ohio State team that lost to Oregon in 2021. That whole defense line was, I can tell you that much, at least the starting 4. So from the Oregon 3, Junkins back in the game for the first time for Ohio State after a fumble. First and goal. Make that the Oregon 4, excuse me. Howard keeps it and is dragged out at the 2. So it'll be second and goal for Ohio State from the Oregon 2 this time. 2-yard run by Will Howard. He would have got in, but he ran into his own man, Abuka, blocking the defensive back. Probably about the 1.5 more so. To mark it at the 1. Howard under center. Gives it. Junkins in. Touchdown, Ohio State. 6th touchdown of the season for Quinshon Junkins. 4 plays, 74 yards, 121 to do it. Paying the PAT, Ohio State takes a 8-point lead of 14-6. Remember, this is huge because Oregon receives the second half kickoff. Good snap, good hold. Kick is up, right down the middle, 14-6. Ohio State, 14-22 to go till halftime. Henderson, just a huge run there out to the 44. Then the next play, another huge run. Great block by Jeremiah Smith, springing them 3 all the way down to the Oregon 4. And then Junkins would cash it in. So far, Ohio State today already has over 100 rushing yards, and we're just 48 seconds into the second quarter and at 103 rushing yards. On 11 carries. Henderson has something 10 verse 9, I believe, on his some sort of verse from the Bible. I couldn't catch what book it was from the Bible, though, on his eye black. And that'll be a touchback. Oregon will start down 25. So Oregon down by 8 now after the missed PAT. Total plays so far, Oregon's ran 13. Ohio State ran 20. Total yards, Ohio State 170, Oregon 84. Oregon averaging 6.5 yards a play, Ohio State 8.5. Average yards per drive, Oregon 28, Ohio State 42.5. Gabriel. High snap over Gabriel's head. Gets it back. Fires, but it's a loss of 2.5, maybe 3 on the play. That's the second bad snap of the game we've seen. 1 on the PAT, and now this one to Gabriel. 2nd and 12 for Oregon. 2 guys in motion, tight end Ferguson and the outstanding wide receiver. I can't remember his name, so I'm not going to try and guess it and butcher it. Trying to remember it here. Gabriel back to pass, looking, firing deep. He's got a man. He's beating Denzel Burke. Evan Stewart, he's got him and carrying Denzel Burke all the way for another 20 yards. And he's mocking him right now. 1st and goal, Oregon. And once again, when OSU needs their defense, they fail to come through. Once again, Ohio State looking like they have all momentum. Proceed to give it up on run play. Gabriel and take snap, but we got a very quick whistle right before the snap here. And what's going on here? They're looking to see where Evan Stewart stepped out of bounds at, is what they're doing. That's what the official review is for. So he may have stepped out of bounds earlier is what they're saying, which would actually give Ohio State's defense a decent shot. Nope, it's going to stand. It's going to be first and goal, Oregon. Denzel Burke absolutely blowing out of the water on that play and getting carried for another 15 yards. That's not a great job staying in bounds. It's called Denzel Burke was keeping them in bounds. If this stands, it'll be first and goal, Oregon from the Ohio State 8, which it will. For spot on the ball has been confirmed. Remember, Oregon would have to go for 2 to tie this game up. Now, if they only go for the PAT and make it, they would still be behind by 1 point due to the missed PAT earlier. If they were to score here, Gabriel, Ferguson in motion, takes snap, hands it off, and he gets swamped on behind the line back to the 10. JT Tuimoau with the tackle for loss. Second and goal for Oregon from the 10. Gabriel, empty backfield. Back to pass, looking, firing, complete once again on Denzel Burke. Touchdown Oregon, but there is a flag. We'll have to see what the flag is. It's probably going to be pass interference on Denzel Burke. Will Howard still looking as calm as ever. Face mask on Ohio State. Touchdown's going to stand. Their defense is crumbling right before our eyes right now. I don't know. I don't know if he had control on that one. He got a foot in bounds, but I don't know if he had a control when he had that foot in bounds. This might go under review. And they don't get the 2. They don't get the 2. So it'll still be Ohio State ahead by 2, 14-12. And we'll go to an ad break, and we'll be back. Okay, while we're on ad break, I'd just like to go over the difference in this game right now. Difference is a missed PAT, a missed 44-yard field goal, and now a failed 2-point conversion for Oregon. So they have left 6 points out on the field to this point. Oregon has. Which ain't hugely alarming yet, but if it continues. So Ohio State getting the ball here. Up 14-12 here in the second quarter. Will Howard with a 1-yard rushing touchdown, and Junkins with a 1-yard rushing touchdown for Ohio State. 12:31 to go till half. This is big for Ohio State because Oregon will receive the second half kickoff. Ohio State is favored by 3.5 to 3. 3 to 3.5, depending on what site you look at. Over under is 50 something. I don't know, to be exact, if I'm being honest. And a fumble, and Oregon recovered it. Oregon just executed an onside kick. It's Oregon football. Also, since when was Oregon kicking off at the 50? There was what? There's no penalty for Oregon to kick at the 50. So I don't know why they're kicking from the 50 in the first place there. So I would like an explanation on that first. Because that means they would have had to move. That means Oregon would have had to have a 20-yard penalty, and there's no flag for an Oregon 20-yard penalty. So I don't know. Because they kicked it from the 50. You usually kick it from the 30. And there's no unsportsmanlike conduct after the play or anything like that against Oregon to say that they should be kicking from the 50. Ohio State C has to come through here. We got a whistle. And timeout Oregon, their first of the half. 30-second timeout. That ain't the craziest bounce. I want an explanation to why Oregon was kicking off on the 50 in the first place. See, Dan Lanning actually shows emotion to where Ryan Day doesn't. That actually would help Ohio State. Gabriel takes the snap high, somehow gets it, fires, caught, touchdown Oregon.